Can I ever financially recover from these projects? Good afternoon. Sunday afternoon. Um, no church today because we received about 8 inches of snow last night. May not be a big deal to some of you, but for us, it's a big deal. Bigger deal is the temperature. I think we're setting a record high today, a record low high, because the high is only supposed to get up to about 13 or 14, somewhere around in there. I think we've actually gotten past that. Sun has come out. It's really not bad. Me and the dogs, and we went for a walk. The big lab, she handles it fine. The little rat terrier dude, he gets snow in his fur and doesn't do well. But it's warm enough that I can work down here. I mean, it's warmed up enough I can work down here in the shop. It's unheated, and we got a few little things going on. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time down here, but just some things, projects in the works. One project that's in the works is up in the house. You may see it tonight or Sunday or Monday, I'm not sure, but it's a video. It's a little video I've been working on. While I was doing some research, I came across some very interesting information in first-hand accounts, French translation, English translation of French documents from the Americas, primarily 16th, 17th, 18th century. So you hopefully will see that. But what I got going on down here, a couple of things. One was as a result of another YouTuber who has a project going on. I don't know his real name, but his YouTube channel is Uncle Sasquatch. Uncle Sasquatch gave me a shout out, unbeknownst to probably him, and not by name, but by comment, in that I made a comment on one of his videos where he was taking old hickory knives and rehandling them, refurbishing them, and making them into usable black powder accoutrements. Now, old hickory is an American-made knife. It's from the Ontario Knife Company. Very good steel, very good knives, and my comment on his video about refurbishing them was I had found an old hickory knife in a thrift store for $1.50. Now, I made that comment not with it in hand, and so I actually thought it was an old hickory, but then when I came down and actually looked at it, it is not an old hickory, but it is in the old hickory style. And it is from, let me put my glasses on so I can read it. There's no marking on it, but there is some faint markings on the handle. And the handle is from the North Standard Hardware and Implement Company, and Blue Flame Gas. And it was probably a promotional knife that was given away as part of setting up an account, opening an account. Now, the Blue Star Gas, what's unique about that is this implement company in Ohio, they picked up the Blue Star Gas line in 1964. So this could be a promotional product that was given to people, like I say, that maybe set up a new account. And but so it could be, a year younger than me if it was 64. So, but anyway, it sharpens beautifully. I've got it sharp. I've got it to where it will cut leather just by running it across it. So, a good utilitarian knife. The only thing I don't like about it is it's not full tang, and it only has 2 rivets. And so we'll see what we can do with that. But Uncle Sasquatch, this is really what it was. It wasn't the old hickory. But what I did after I realized, oh, that's not really what I thought it was, I went looking for old hickory, of which I found 2. One was in really bad shape. The blade was just, it was jagged. It had been abused. In fact, when I tore it apart, it even looked like the end had been hammered on to pry something. to pry something, who knows. But I paid $6 for it. This is it. I'll get into a little bit more about what I'm doing there. This is one I paid a little bit more for. And it's in really good shape. And it's got all the markings of it. Ontario Knife Company, Old Hickory, 2 rivets on the handle. Now that's another unique situation that I'll talk about. But paid $12 for that. Still a good find. Now I haven't done anything to the blade, but the edge is rather straight, not a lot of nicks and stuff in it. That's the next project. But this is one that I paid $6 for. Had an extremely jagged edge on it. I basically put it on the pelt sander, held it flat, and got it straightened up. I then sharpened it. That rascal is sharp. I pried the handles off. Now this is a 3 rivet. Okay, that handle was 3 rivet. 2 of them were in place, 1 was missing. I was able to pry it off, and they're the old post and stem style of rivets. The good thing was I didn't have to drill them out like Uncle Sasquatch did, but I was able to pry the scales up and then pop them off. They came off relatively easily. But I'm only going back with 2 pins rather than 2 rivets. Now I will say this, I'm using 3/16 inch pin stock, okay? The holes aren't quite 3/16, so I had to drill them out. This one drilled like butter. I went ahead and drilled the center one. I'm not using it though. And then this front one is, I guess it's close enough to where they tempered and hardened the blade, because that rascal was hard. I burned up 1 drill bit and had to go get it was a 3/16. And it was already probably pretty dull, so I bought a handful of them just to have them on hand. But it took that one that I burned out, it literally glowed, and I was putting oil on it and everything, and it glowed. But anyway, the old DeWalt Black Diamond went through it, a new blade, and it still was, these pins are slightly oversized. Now, what you do is you put them in there and peen them over. I'm not putting any epoxy or anything like that on it to hold it, so it's purely going to be peened in place. And so that right there, I worked on it yesterday until my hands got numb, and I finally just gave it up. Now, like I say, today is actually, I think, a little bit colder, but the sun is out, so the radiant heat on the shop has really made it nice. You can still see my breath though. So there you have that. So those are the knife projects. Sitting there talking to nobody. That's what the phone call did. It interrupted it. So anyway, I'm going to stop that and then go back and see what I actually have. No, let's just continue. Another project that I did was, I've napped flint, have for several years now, and but this little point here, I think I picked up at a truck stop or a curio store, or one of those where they're trying to sell Tatanqua moccasins or whatever, to tourists, and I think I paid 50 cents for it. Now, what it was someone knocked off a flake. It had a little flake curve to it, and it had a big old booger on the end where that thing wasn't going to go in anything. But I was curious about it. I don't know what kind of rock it is, but I was able to take it and take some of my flint napping stuff, my copper pressure flaker, and I was able to get it down fairly thin. Now it's still too thick right here, but I'll just lose a lot of length if I try to take too much off. But I did get the big bulge off of it, so I may put that on an atlatl. We'll cover atlatls at some point, and we'll see what that does. Okay, last project. was, this is the Ferdinadina Powder Horn. I didn't talk much about the stopper, I don't think, but Clint and Carrie, who have Horn and Fiber, have a YouTube channel. Clint's last video was on tapering the spout. I had not tapered this. I purely drilled it with a 3/8" drill bit and made a stopper, and that is a piece of horn that from a different piece, and I tapered it, and then it was, so you basically had a taper going in a straight hole. Clint posted a video about tapering, and so I thought, well, let's give that a shot. Went on Amazon, found a Luthier's taper. This one happens to be, it goes up to 5/8. I don't remember what the 5/16 maybe. I'll post that. But it goes up to 5/8, and it fit in there wonderfully. And basically, I tapered it in accordance with Clint's instructions on his video. And the rationale behind having taper is that it will go in, and if it gets a little bit stuck, once it's free, because now you're no longer pulling against something that's riding on that channel. You're approaching the small end of the plug, and it will release. And plus, the more you force it in, the tighter it gets, making it watertight, airtight. Now, this horn is not airtight, but I'm going to correct that. So one of the things I got was a little set of funnels, and I'm going to seal this not just with beeswax. Beeswax has a relatively low melting point. I'm going to seal it with brewer's pitch, and the brewer's pitch has a higher melting point, so therefore it won't get soft in the summer. And I'm going to do it according to how you would seal a canteen, which is what I bought from Townsend's and what it was for, sealing canteens, wooden canteens. And so I'm going to seal that, pour it in there, slosh it around in the bottom, let it sit for a little bit, pour the excess out, let it set like that so gravity pulls the brewer's pitch down, because this is where it's leaking, the plug, and then seal that up. Now, I did not taper the powder horn for the Fowler because it's currently got powder in it. So, next project. Okay. Wife called me, interrupted. I'll go back and find out what she was after. I know what she was after. She wanted me to go gather eggs. In the wintertime, eggs will freeze if you don't gather them soon after they are laid. So, we'll go do that. Anyway, this video should be out Sunday night. The other one I'm working on thereabouts. And so wherever you're at, stay warm, stay dry, stay safe, and have a great evening. We'll talk to you later.